We're here at Barbershop Talk, episode number 36, House of Experts, 728 Broadway here in the city of Paterson. Our great volleyball coach down there, Jonathan VICIOSO. John, give us a wave. John has survived a summer of Paterson Recreation Volleyball Camp, and he survived the American Dream with like 70 kids. So you're a real coach now, John. That's like legit now. But listen, it's football season. We're going to talk some politics. We're going to talk some football. We're going to talk about what's going on here in the community. And we have a great group of panelists with us today. We have none other than the legend. You're considered a legend now because the kids follow you, Varsity Aces, and want to see other stuff. But Darren Cooper from the Record and Varsity Aces.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have the defending non-parochial A state champion, who I picked to happen, none other than legendary football player and coach, Augie Hoffman from St. George Regional. And next to him with the football season here, we got to get an update. I know he's been out a lot of scrimmages and trying to catch everybody, see what's going on. The CEO of ZONEGIX, Justin Wimberly. And with us today, we have the new athletic director of Hackensack School District, Darius Pemberton, former All-American, track star, coach, all that good stuff. Next to him, we have none other than Coach Riz, as she's better known, Charisma Thomas, with Silk City Elite. Anything with Silk City Elite goes through Riz. That's how we know. If it's legit, we go through Riz. Silk City Elite, still one of the better programs we have here in the city of Paterson and statewide. People come from all over to play for Silk City. Next, Riz is none other than our Assemblyman, Kenyatta Stewart. And next to him is the head coach of the Eastside Mighty Ghosts, my good brother, James Magazine. I hope you ain't scared Rogers off. I don't know. He ain't show up. Somebody transferred again? What's going on? We good? Nah, we're good? All right. Sorry about that. And then that leads into the AD of Eastside High School, TJ Hill. Both of these guys played for me, so they understand that I'm going to throw a little jab every now and then if this guy don't show up. But next to them, we have the commissioner of the Paterson Public Schools, one of the senior commissioners of Paterson Public Schools, Kenny Simmons. And next to him, we have the CEO, executive director, you name it, the one, the only. Also, Al Sharpton's right-hand lady here in New Jersey with National Action Network and JUMPSTART, Jamie Bland. And down the line, we have the mother of all sports of anywhere in the city of Paterson and beyond, Marion Watkins. And we have a surprise guest. We have Miss Fran. I don't know, Miss Fran is a hell raiser here in the city of Paterson. But they did a great job with Jazz in the Park this past week. Thousands of people came out for a free concert in the park. Great job to Esna and Jazz in the Park. Miss Fran, great job. And next to Ms. Fran, we have the head soccer coach at Kennedy High School. I had to get some soccer in, especially after that World Cup experience. Fredo was my guy who I talked about. We went to a couple of matches and everything, but he left me hanging for the championship game. And Fredo, you worked for me and you left me hanging. I'm sitting there I felt like a little kid waiting. All right, I'm gonna get this call. We're going to MetLife. We're getting 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. See pictures of Fredo celebrating on the World Cup thing. That's all right. But Alfredo Serrano, head coach and recreation soccer supervisor, Unisamba's director, you name it, anything soccer here is Alfredo Serrano. But look, we're going to jump right into this. One topic that we need a quick response from everybody. We're going to go down the line and we will start right here. Who is the GOAT when it comes to basketball? So the last show, people said, you didn't even talk about LeBron going to the Sixers. And like, everybody knows I'm a Laker fan. I've been a Laker fan, but I go to a lot of Nets games or whatever, cheer for the Knicks, whatever. But can we put this to rest? Who is the greatest? Is it LeBron or MJ?
You want me to go first?
Oh, good Lord,
no pressure.
We don't have to, you don't have to elaborate on it.
Okay. It's a great question. And it's so hard to compare eras and players and stuff. And so I look at it, you had great players forever and ever and ever. If I said, was Victor Cruz the best player you ever, the greatest player you ever had? Maybe for that time and that place. So You need some context. You need some context. Jordan is the most competitive son of gun who ever walked the planet. Okay? Is LeBron the best basketball player of all time? Maybe so. Maybe so.
Okay.
But I'll go back to what I love though. And
Okay,
I'm a Laker fan too.
Okay.
Jabbar doesn't get enough credit for changing the game with the skyhook.
Bill Russell with
right.
11 championships, coach. But just give me an answer. Who's
LeBron's the best player of all time.
Okay.
LeBron's the best player.
Coach?
Michael Jordan.
Jordan?
Hands down.
Jess?
LeBron, I think the guys are more athletic in this era compared to the guys that he had to play in that era.
So you're saying Mike was not athletic?
No, I never said Mike wasn't athletic. I said the league as a whole. Think about it. If you look at the statistics, right, when they added the three-point line.
You guys been hanging out with high
You
school
grew up,
kids,
yeah.
too.
Hold on, yeah. I thought like I trained you better.
Michael Jordan didn't have no Steph Curry, Kobe Bryant's all around him. So
But he had dudes.
But
like,
I think as an individual though, if you say, hey, you put Michael Jordan in his era, I think Michael Jordan is still probably the greatest.
All
But
right,
as far as competition-wise,
I'm disappointed
LeBron
in your
got the
answer, but
competition.
we'll go ahead on it. Darius?
MJ.
Legendary. Riz? MJ. Oh, another Laker fan? What do you say?
LeBron!
I knew he was going to say LeBron. Mag?
Let's start with LeBron, LA.
Yes. Mag? Mike? T? Kenny? MJ? Ladies, anybody want to chime in down there?
I'm with Justin.
Yep, Brian?
Yeah, Brian.
There's a long
Fredo?
I'm a Laker fan too, but I got to say MJ.
Yeah. Hey, listen, the only thing I said, if you had to have one guy in your squad in game 7, and who's going to take that last shot for you? It's MJ. Like MJ's competitive spirit. If you've read about MJ or watched, was it The Last Dance? Like, he didn't want to lose in marbles. Like, he was so competitive. No offense to LeBron. Like, when it comes to athleticism and scoring and all that other stuff, it's fine. But at the end of the day, him going to the Sixers, it really separates me here. Because Embiid's doesn't play 12 games or something like that. So, like, I would not have put my career, my legacy on Joel Embiid. Not there. And then, like I said, all the Sixers
Jordan went to the Wizards, you know.
Yes, he did. And he played, he played baseball.
And he played baseball.
The Barons, but that was a whole nother, you read about him, why he did it, his father and all that stuff, but whole different thing. But I'm going to go with MJ. I think MJ is the greatest of all time. And not just in basketball, I think he's one of the best competitors ever, in sports. When you talk about the Cal Ripkens and you talk about, Muhammad Ali's and different people, or Jim Brown or whatever, when people talk, MJ's competitive spirit in going 6-0 in NBA championships.
Isn't there something different though, Coach? You too. Where like some guys are wired to compete like all heck, but some guys are also physically gifted as all heck, and they're not always the same.
I don't think anybody's arguing LeBron's athleticism.
Oh no, his
when
athleticism.
you have peers, other Hall of Famers, that when asked the question, tell you Michael Jordan. I mean, the conversation should stop right there.
Yeah. And like I said, and as far as talent and scoring, and he has his records and different things, but MJ going 6-0 in the NBA Finals, and he took some lumps. You remember the Pistons used to beat him, and he had a hard time early on with Celtics teams or whatever. So he took some lumps.
You know who was Time Magazine's athlete of the century?
Who?
LeBron James.
Okay, yeah. LeBron has transformed sports in a different way, though. Like this era, if you talk to any kid under 30, they're going to say LeBron. They won't even hesitate. They're going to go LeBron.
I'll take Kobe before LeBron, though, when you talk about killer instinct.
Oh, yeah. My killer.
I think that's the
if it was a game 7, I'm taking Kobe next before I take LeBron.
So when you talk about last shot mentality, I think that killer instinct is something that the only thing LeBron probably actually lacks in his
he'll pass the ball.
He will. He'll make the right play. He'll tell you that he's gonna make the right play.
All right. Well, listen. We got to come back, and then we got to get Baby Rob, Shalik, the whole crew in here to discuss some more basketball, because they're still arguing about the best basketball players in the history of Patterson. And the one name, and I'm going to end this on basketball before we go, that nobody talks about enough, even though he didn't live here, but he grew up here, played here, Kyle Anderson. Like when you talk about the GOATs of the 5, and he's still playing in the NBA, 13 years later? Yeah, I mean, Fairview could claim him, but he grew up in Patterson basketball.
He's been working out up at St. Joe's.
Yeah.
He's living in Upper Saddle River now.
Yeah,
he trains up by us.
Yeah. And on that note, we got Marquise Webb headed to St. Joe's for basketball. So now I got to go up to Joe's to watch some basketball. I hear he's recruiting 7 and 8 year olds already. I'm not going to say no names. I know there's a lefty who shoots a lot of threes, but I won't mention any names that maybe heading to St. Joe's.
I'll tell you what, he had a 6'8" kid walking around the locker room the other day. I thought he was a tight end. I'm
Listen,
like,
all I can say is that there's going to be a lot of transportation going up the Parkway North for to see Marquise Webb.
we need it.
Here. Yeah, he's the real deal, and he's such a gentleman. Like outside of this being it, the job he did at Eastside, the job he did, at Marstown Beard, which is not easy at all, and then now St. Joe's, there could be a different change.
No, he just, even from the first time I met him, you could tell, like, first of all, he gets it.
Yeah.
He relates to the players. There's no doubt about that. But he's excited to be, at St. Joe's. That's the nicest thing. Like, you could tell, like, he's fired up. He sees the potential in the guys we have, and then obviously he's got such a following that.
And he got his 2 little guards, his backcourt. His own sons are beast.
Right.
And they're little guys, so I don't think they've lost a game. 3 years, Kay?
1 in 4 years.
They lost 1 game in 4 years in the City League, and they're loaded. And they got everybody's kid on that team. I'm not gonna say who started that, but my kids played for that team too. But yeah. But listen, Darius, come on, tell us what's going on at Hackensack. Welcome to Hackensack. Come up to the mic. What's new? I know you're new to this. What's happening?
A lot of good things. Just building programs, building culture, bringing it back. Bringing it back to First Street. Everything's new. It's new and exciting. It's great to be here with y'all. Just talking sports.
How's the fall season looking? Football, soccer, and I know you have like 1 million sports going on.
Good. Kids out there working. Looking forward to football. Got to get back in the playoffs. Good turnout for soccer. Great numbers. Girls volleyball. I'm real excited about girls volleyball this year. Of course, we did legendary things in track last year.
I mean,
so
you made nationals and all those kids, and the kid 7 went to USC, right?
Yeah, USC on full ride. So we looking forward to cross country. We lost 4 All-Americans though, so it's going to be,
Well, tell Coach Hazel he better get these guys together.
Yeah, he got some talent returning.
Okay.
Girls track will be real exciting. We got a bunch of young all-state, all-county performers coming back. So just looking forward to bringing that culture back.
All right, I just wanted to get you on so folks would know. I mean, obviously, we lost my dear friend, Scooter Whiting, and to replace Scooter, you were one of his guys, obviously, growing up at Hackensack, being an All-American. A lot of people know Darius was an All-American in track and All-American at Houston in college, and a NCAA champion in college. So, I mean, you're not like somebody they found somewhere. You grew up there and they're there. Every now and then these guys, they just find like, all right, he's AD. Well, he did play stickball 1 year. That's it. But you got legit credentials. So we're here for you and is proud of you and look forward to, going to Beach and First Street to check some games out.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for coming out.
Appreciate you.
Next up, we have, I don't know what her title is with Silk City, but Coach Riz, come on up. Tell us what's going on with Silk City Little League. She's the girls' flag football coach. She runs the other football programs. What's new with Little League football this year?
So this year we're starting our season. Our season officially kicks off the weekend of August 29th. We are in Big Tri-State League, which will be playing against competitive New York and New Jersey teams. We are still currently have open spots on the 7U and the 8U level. So if you have if you have kids out there that are still interested in playing, we are accepting additional players. And we're just looking forward to an exciting competitive season.
How can they contact you if they want to get their kids on the team?
If you need to contact us, you can follow our page on Instagram, Silk City Program, or you can reach us via email. Via our website, www.silkcityelite.org.
All right, and I know these guys are putting in some work. One day it was pouring rain, and I'm leaving the White House coming out, and the kids were running the hills.
Yes.
That gave me a flashback. I said, all right, now this is real football. Rain, no lightning, but they were out there running the hills in the rain. I said, all right, they're legit. They're ready to go.
If the weather permits, we are outside.
Even if the weather doesn't permit, you're outside. That's what I like about it. Nowadays, a little rain, everybody's going home.
No.
It's not Silk City.
No,
not going to
we're
happen.
outside.
Okay. All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys this season. And I know you usually have a couple of out-of-state games and different things, so just keep us posted.
Yes, if you want to see our schedule, again, it'll be posted on the Silk City Program Instagram page.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Coach. And next up, we have a surprise guest, our assemblyman. Come on up. I hear there's a real sharp shooting lefty that been on the Parkway a lot. But come on up, let's talk about that.
Hey guys, so you know, of course, you know, we're super excited for Marquise Webb to be up at, you know, St. Joe's, and he got the whole squad up there, right? The little crew's up there. They're up there all week last week, so you know, can imagine what that is. But you know, I mean, as you know, things have been going on in the district heavy. I mean, Eastside Park has been popping every weekend. You know, from
Yeah, fill everybody in. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been such a positive vibe. When we get a lot of negative press, but those last 3 weeks have been great.
Oh, so we had Jamaica Day with thousands of people. Then we had R&B in the park with thousands of people. Then we had jazz in the park with thousands of people. And I don't think nobody threw a rock out there, right? And the best part about the situation is they're all tradition now, right? So people know this part of the month, this area in Eastside Park is on and popping. You can have a good time, bring your family, and not have no issues. So, as you know, Heldon Day last week was like, you know, great. You know, we did Maria Magna last week when it comes to, you know, giving them an opportunity to support. And listen, man.
$1 million.
Listen, man, $1 million goes a long way.
Yes,
So,
yes,
you know, I
yes.
want to commend you for, you know, your leadership on that. You know, me and Al, you know, we followed your footsteps on it. But when it comes down to it, we felt like those folks out in that area needed the help. And Maria Magna's area and that, you know, community, they help everybody. So that's what's most important to us. But, you know, the district is popping. Unfortunately, you know, the folks in Garfield had some issues where, you know, they took a loss with some young kids. You know, unfortunately, the drowning that happened in Passaic, those kids were from Garfield. So I went out there, talked to the mayor. You know, we represented, of course, and then, of course, Nelly Poe was with us and everything. So, you know, that family's trying to hold it together. From what I hear, they may have had another loss, a football kid, so they're trying to, you know, put it together. Right?
Yeah, the kid, he actually played basketball in Patterson and played football over there.
Yeah.
And it was just a drowning incident in Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Drowning incident. And unfortunately for a community to have that type of, you know, stuff, it's just
Back
tough.
to back
Yeah,
is rough,
it's
man.
tough, yeah.
You know what I mean? But hey, listen, man. You know, North Heldon had a really good turnout when it comes to the transit, you know, program that we did the other day. You know, we had a bunch of people in there. North Heldon getting a different type of look, and we're gonna make sure they keep getting it.
All right, well, appreciate you. Thanks for stopping
Hey,
in.
you know how I do it, man. I debo these things.
I know you don't. You'll be on the next one. Look, I was accused that I showed favoritism to you, right? That's it. But the one thing I will say, a big shout out to Tommy Brown, T. Moody, and whoever was working with them with R&B in the park. I didn't get a chance to get there, but you told me.
It was serious.
And when we can have positive things like this with people in our community, I don't think it has to be a police state.
No.
As you know, Jazz in the park the other day went over a little bit, but nobody was complaining. It was good, and it was a positive vibe. All I can say is when Tommy has 1,000 people or 500 in the park,
The whole city safe.
The whole city safe. That's why I said, like, yeah, keep him in the park. But big shout out to Tommy Brown for doing a good job with R&B in the park.
No doubt, man.
Thank you, appreciate you. All right, man, come on up. Give me the state of Eastside football. I see your crosstown rival didn't show up today, so somebody better text him.
I'm texting him right now.
Text him right now. Tell him he better get a transfer from down south or something. Jeez.
So
What's going on?
State of the program. We were young last year. Played a lot of kids. Our strength finally, my first time having a big veteran offensive line. So the offense is going to change tremendously. I think the strong suit of my team, honestly, this year is not the players. I think it's the group of men that I have around my kids that are invested in our kids. I can sit back and practice and they just go. I have a great bunch of coaches that take time with our kids, not just the varsity level kids. They're really paying attention to detail with our younger kids so we can develop. We're still looking for players. We're trying to hit freshman orientation with my boss here, trying to get some freshmen out. Anybody you know that's interested in playing football, not even that, you want to keep your kids safe, you want structure in your household, please send your kids over to us.
All right, hey, listen, and you knocked out my former player on his first camp with you. I say Dave couldn't hang with you guys a little bit. A little tired? That's old school practices?
Tired.
All right, tell Dave he can't be getting put out on blast like that. He got to stay awake. And nowadays with all the social media, you know, the running back coach can't be asleep in the office knocked out.
It was hot.
T, did you see what they did to my boy Dave? They knocked him out. They killed him. Yeah. You must have one of them old school tour days that really killed him.
Yeah, I mean, old school coach Eddie Hill was part of that. So.
Oh my God! God bless you if you're dealing with that crew. He's not ready for that crew, but I'm gonna have to give him a talk. But all right, keep up the good luck.
Thank
And
you.
who we open up against? Where you
We
at?
opened Lincoln High School. We opened up Friday, August 28th at the Fieldhouse, 6 p.m. It's also a book bag giveaway. Any young people that you know need a book bag, gates open at 5. They're free while supplies last.
All right. Good luck this season,
Thank
Coach.
you.
We'll be out there to support you. PJ Hill, athletic director. I apologize about the transfer comment earlier. But you would have done the same. So, no, I'm only joking. Give me an update. What's going on with Eastside Athletics?
Yeah, just getting the ball rolling with our 4 athletics. Like I said, we got girls volleyball is always a big turnout. Obviously, we don't like to dismiss anyone, so we try to keep as many as we can in the program. We may have a freshman program. Last year we did have a freshman program with volleyball, but as far as with scheduling, it was due to the numbers. So it was pretty much had to pick up independent games here and there. It looked like that may be the case as well. Football, boys soccer and girls soccer, that's always been a challenge because of the guy back there.
From across town, I won't say, yeah.
But I mean, like I said, it's one Patterson. So at the end of the day, I mean, like you said, he got a strong program over there. So, but that's pretty much, and obviously, we have our cross country where we have our track program that does fairly well. A lot of those kids, pretty much use cross country just to like a
All right, quick question. Is
Is
there going to be Eastside Kennedy game this year at some point?
No.
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 It's over.
No. Obviously,
So I'll be at TNEC Hackensack.
You'll be at the Hackensack TNEC game or the East Orange Barbershop game. Most likely the Hackensack
I'm going to
TNEC
Hackensack
game.
TNEC
Like I
game.
said, we elaborated on that at Coach Magazine facility and Coach Justin facility at a fast break. But like I said, I'm trying to keep it brief and short. But if we later on the show, if you want me to go into detail,
No, it's fine. I get it.
Well, you know what? Darren already know because Darren called me as soon as it happened,
All
and I gave
can
him my
say
spill
is,
on it. So
I don't know the recommendation. Like I know like the Ivy League situation, all that
Yes,
stuff.
yes,
but
yes.
I hope they get out of it in 1 year. Like like it's hard to recruit when kids are not going to the playoffs. You go here. I would have killed him.
Well, and
I would have took his whole team.
and not
I
to
told
say,
you that would have been
at
it.
the
Like
end
you
of
ain't
the
going to
day,
playoffs. Who you playing for?
we all
Yeah.
We're
Who
all
you
about
playing?
tradition. We all about keeping the city going and building.
So at some
culture,
point,
building
maybe
season.
you see a Labor Day game, maybe. Or something?
That was the motion where that's what Coach Magazine and I was pushing to the last. Because Justin knows well the last 3-4 years. But the town wanted to get to 100. 100 is a mark, and we understand that. So. Not the fact that we all in tradition, but we also need to change within times as well. We're not getting the crowds that we were getting in the 80s and the 90s. We're not getting the same athletic talent that we were getting due to, the non-publics and, we got the PCTIs and things of that nature. So we also got to stay within our realm, stay within our limitations.
I hear you loud and clear, but try to get something together in the future. At least you're playing each other.
Yes, I'm for it. But you all know here, when you got Oregon guys, to play a meaningless football game, that's not the sport where you want to play a game where it doesn't mean anything and doesn't benefit our kids.
Well, no, Thanksgiving I understand because then you have that break and you got to wait and with this schedule now, so I get it. But down the line, I got a good lawyer over there. He'll sit down and he'll figure this out. You gotta get the game. Yeah, well, he'll sponsor it too. You got a lot of money. Yeah. Hey, Coach Simmons. I forget he was a long-time youth coach here. Now he's a commissioner on the school board. Give us an update. I know a lot of parents are scrambling or have left and not sure. Is there any advice you could give the parents in reference to the school closures and what they should be doing with their parents? With their kids?
With their kids.
So not so much the case. I don't want to talk about that.
So it's I believe in parent choice, and we talked about this before. I know that a lot of parents have called me and wanted to leave the district, and they are leaving the district, and I understand it. And so we have a lot of students leaving for charter. People are actually moving out of the city because of these closures. So, whatever I can do, I've always told parents, call me, and if anything that I can facilitate and help them with, I've been doing. And Corey Teague has been doing as well. So we're just trying to help parents do what's best for their children.
Any other updates with the situation as far as the kids, they just have to go back to their sending district?
They have to go back to their neighborhood school. So which could be 6 or 12 or, one of those schools.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll bring you back on. I know we can't talk about certain things, but you'll be back on in the next show to kind of gap us. You got it?
But we're in closing argument, so.
Okay. I got you. I understand legalities. I get it. He may have a law career, Kay. They told me. They said he was in there killing it, but I'm going to leave it at that. Jumpstart Jamie Bland, come on up. I just want you to give the information for the National Action Network March on Washington anniversary coming up. And Jamie really is like Al Sharpton's right hand. I can't get Al Sharpton on Barbershop Talk, but that's another story. Go ahead, Jamie.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
So, yes, the information for the March on Washington, we already have around 78 buses coming throughout the U.S. In New Jersey, I'm the Northeast Regional rep, actually, so I really focus on New Jersey, but a little bit on outside. But under national, we're just trying to make sure that we push these free buses. Reverend Sharpton is trying to make sure that people, if you cannot march, don't worry about that because you can sit. You can just talk, just kind of be there at the march because numbers is what counts. The main thing is that we want to focus on the DEI. Some of the things that people don't understand, that the democracy is at stake. So we just want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to get on the buses, come down, and be there. The buses are leaving on August 28th. I have about 6 buses in New Jersey. Well, actually 8. So the one in it's going to be 2 in Hackensack, I believe, because we already have an overflow. So that's going to leave at Mount Olive Baptist Church. We have 1 in Paterson right now, and then I'm speaking with some other people that have an organization. I don't want to say anything until it's happening. But so we might have 2 buses. But right now, the bus in Paterson is almost filled. So anybody that would like to attend, please contact me at 551-312-4481. That's one of 3 of my phones.
And they can also contact you through Instagram or Facebook, right?
Yes. And
I mean, just for time's
anyway,
sake.
they can inbox me any kind of way. People always get in touch with me for everything. I'm also the crisis department for the National Action Network, so I deal with everybody in New Jersey, from the front to the back. So please feel free to come. It's very important. Our democracy is at stake. And a lot of people don't even understand. When I talk to them about the Board of Social Services, and I said, you know that Board of Social Services is a Democrat bill. And people don't know that. It's a lot of women that don't understand the Medicaid. And I'm not putting anybody down because I remember all of this stuff. But the Medicaid, the food stamps, which they call TANF, a pretty word for food stamps, it's food stamps. Those are the things that are on the line. So to send somebody just like me to go out, you need to be there too, because this is about us. It's about we the people. And if you are doing well in life, well, great, wonderful, God bless you. It's some other people that you need to fight for. So please make sure that you try to send somebody. Have them contact me. I'll make sure that there is a bus because they give me whatever I want. Rev is really excited all the time about New Jersey, and I try to keep him excited about New Jersey. And the assemblyman, I don't know if you remember, assemblyman and senator, you guys are on paperwork as my political advisors.
As long as it don't cost me any money, we're good. That's fine.
You're good for now.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you. Hey, Fredo, come on, give me soccer real quick. We gotta delve into this football conversation. Jamie, you did a good job. You didn't take longer than I thought, so I appreciate you keeping it to the short.
How we doing, everybody?
Give me a soccer update. And how many kids have you stolen from Eastside this year? Now you're talking about a recruiter. This guy's recruiting out of the womb. He's at St. Joe's Hospital giving out soccer balls. No, I'm on. TJ, he didn't take any yet this
But
year.
he couldn't get you in the World Cup final, though?
No. Oh, wait, but ask him who he works for. He works for me. I don't know about that. I will be reporting you to the NJSIA if anything happens. Go ahead.
We had about 42 kids that came out. We do 6 a.m., 9:30 to 2:30. Today we had another 25 come out. We opened up with Clifton on September 3rd. We go to them. And then Bergen Tech comes home. And then we got the Gray Bees coming to Patterson, St. Benedict's.
St. Benedict's. That's your old squad. Yeah. Well, so don't know. Fredo's been. We grew up playing baseball together, which we didn't. I didn't even know about no soccer. And then Fredo, hell, you grown? Yeah, what the hell? We were baseball players. And then I go, and he's like this their guru. And then all these kids at St. Benedict's Prep are from Patterson, and they're nationally ranked. And I'm going, you gotta get this guy back in Patterson. Yeah. So if I didn't do anything good with recreation, I got you back.
Joe's.
That's right.
With Chris De Silva.
Oh yeah, it's Chris. That's right. Yeah.
My first job there. But we're looking forward to it. We know we have a great season. We have a great team. Have a great freshman class that came in is great. You know, they play for Nisamba, so Nisamba feeds Kennedy, also feeds Eastside. We had a traveling team.
You're giving Eastside the leftovers. Just tell the truth.
No.
Don't say you're feeding.
I spoke to
you're giving more guys you cut. You said the Eastside.
The AD. We opened the doors to everybody. 5 players showed up, and 3 are amazing players.
If I was TJ, I would hire your son. That's what I would do.
Well, what?
I'll get Jordan. and then the Cosmos hire him. I know the story.
Yeah, but I mean, we're looking forward to a great season. I mean, trying to get that chip.
And, listen, and another shout out to an old school coach. It's pouring, raining, everything's going on. He texts me, can we practice in a pavilion? I'm going, would he practice what? And he goes, soccer. He's practicing in a Pennington Park pavilion. It's pouring, raining, and he still have practice.
Got to work hard, man.
That's what happens when you come from 17th Ave, too.
Yes,
so that's,
sure.
you grew up.
Like I said, you know, we're working on everybody to come to our games, and we're looking forward for a great season this year. And also, you know, we have Unisamba, Patterson Unisamba, our club team, very competitive. This year, you know, we lost to Canada in the New York Cup, and we have great soccer in Patterson, I can say. Great soccer.
Right, well, thanks, but you got to give Eastside something. You got to give them something.
Thank you. Another thing I want to say for the girls, anybody wants to play soccer for Kennedy High School, they have practice every day at 3:30 at Pennington Park. Thank you, guys.
All right, Fredo. Have a good one. Listen, hey, Darius, this guy's a beast, like it literally. And he has kids all over the place. They had, how many people did you have for when you had, who was the international game? Just who was the international game?
Unisamba played Barcelona from Ecuador.
8,000 people or something like that?
Sold out. The only sold out event at Hinchliffe
Stadium, yeah. Alfredo's the promoter. Yeah, that's it. But just, I'm going to start backwards here. Give me a quick football. I saw you've been to a couple of scrimmages. What's coming up? Give us a quick flash. What's happening?
Week 0 next week, Thursday. So it actually starts on Thursday for some teams to open up in New Jersey. That's the earliest you could play is on the 27th. But New Jersey on the 28th will have their first national high school football game in 9 years on ESPN. St. Joe's Regional will be playing Mount Carmel High School. Coach, 7 p.m. Eastern time?
7 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
7 p.m. Out there.
So that's going to be, they're going to Chicago, St. Joe's Regional. They're in the top 25 game as far as playing a national program. Mount Carmel, who I believe is on a 4-peat, 4 state champions out there. So they're, running the Midwest right now. The following day on that Friday, we're actually Zone 6 is headed to Fort Lauderdale to host St. Peter's Prep. But there's a bunch of other games that's, a ton of
Prep is playing, what is the school?
Dillard High School.
Dillard High School. Okay.
Yeah, but, there's probably Darren probably could correct me, but there's probably around 20 games of New Jersey.
There's more week 0 games than we ever
so
remember
there's a ton
before,
of out-of-state, games going on this year. So
Bergen's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So Bergen's in Pittsburgh.
Playing Central Catholic. What quarterback went to Central Catholic, Coach?
Central Catholic?
War number 13, played for the Dolphins.
Dan Marino.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And Bosco's playing
And Don Bosco's playing Armwood. So they have a Florida team.
And they're coming up here?
They're coming up.
Wayne Hills is going somewhere.
A lot of teams are.
Wayne Hills is
like even on the schedule, I don't think it's a week 0 game, but like Camden's going down to Perriman in Odessa, Texas. So Friday Night Lights with Booby Miles.
Camden is playing Perriman.
Yes,
they are.
So New Jersey, the whole year, there's games all over the place. So they're like this schedule this year for New Jersey football as a whole. We're going to be able to be battle tested going against some other states.
That reminds me, Wayne. They're flying into Dallas. But the place they're playing is out in West Texas. They got to get on another plane before the game and fly 4 hours out in West Texas. West Texas.
But St. Joe's, when they return back from Chicago, they have another top 25 game team that's ranked, I saw today, 21 in America on Max Preps. Creekside High School, who we hosted a few years ago
down in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
Yeah,
so they're, I believe, a defending state champion as well. So
they scored like 63 points a game last year, right?
Yeah.
Something horrible like that.
Absurd number.
All I'm going to say is my son invites me to Atlanta to help him out with this doubleheader football game with St. Peter's and Creekside. It was 110 degrees.
Yeah.
Then we're like in an area where they're going, don't walk out there, go with somebody. I said, I don't give who. I'm walking out here. I went to get Gatorade.
Right.
We were sweating. Then there was like 4 lightning delays.
Yeah,
That time of year.
We're actually going to go down there next year.
Oh my gosh.
We flipped it because of the ESPN game. We were going to go there, and then we worked it out so that they'll come to us this year, and we'll go to them next year.
Oh, that's great. So, jump in. Tell us about St. Joe's 2026.
Yeah. The hangover's gone, for sure. I think we got a good group of young men. The defense right now is really kind of taking the lead, as they should at this time. Usually defense is ahead, but you know, if you look at the superstars on the team, they're all on that side of the ball right now. And you know, it starts with Taj Gray. I mean, he's as good as we've ever had at St. Joe's. He might be as good as New Jersey's ever seen when it's all said and done. We were watching the green and gold. He just erases stuff. You know, it's wide open and then it's not.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got his brother Chaz, who is he's coming to his own as a defensive end for us, and Cam Aim going to Pittsburgh. Chaz is going to Washington, and you know, maybe our best all-around player hasn't even played yet, Jay Gillette. You know, he's coming off the ACL and he's going to Penn State. But you know, you can go down the list of guys that are really stepping into their own and taking over. So it should be, you know, listen, it'll be fun. That Mount Carmel team is very similar to us. They want to rough you up. They want to play hard-nosed football. Midwest, they're a proud team. South side of Chicago, the whole thing. I've heard everything. You know, I've heard it all. So
now, how's your quarterback competition looking?
Yeah, it's tight. It's really tight right now. You know, we have 3 or 4 guys that are all getting reps, and they're all different. You know, it's interesting. We got, you know, the kid Ralph Tristani transferred in from Bergen Catholic. He's a junior. Has good command of the field, throws the ball very well. Bryce Longo was with us. You know, he's a junior in our program, and then introduced this kid Will Mitchell out of nowhere, comes from Carteret, who is one of our best receivers. You know, if I put him on defense, he'd probably be one of our best defensive players. And
we got another Nate.
He just happens to be
have another
a great
Nate?
quarterback too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and Roman Churchill's been great for us as a sophomore. So, you know, we're going to have a decision made here in the next 24 hours on who that guy's going to be, and we're going to go with it. You know?
How's my guy from Patterson, Kaishan Bryant?
So Kaishan's he's nursing an ankle injury right now, but in terms of dynamic ability, I mean, he was awesome for us last year, you know, we're being real sensitive with him right now because of what he can do. He's probably better than what I'm allowing him to be right now because I don't need him. You know, ankles are funny, right?
Yeah.
They never get better by playing on them, so we're resting him up, and he's one of those guys that can just go out there and play.
I'm looking forward to Jonah Parker.
Yeah.
That's, you know.
Yeah, Jonah is the son of our defensive line coach, Javon Parker.
Javon, yes.
You know, played in the league 5 years, does a great job with our D-line, but Jonah is the next young guy up right behind Taj and at that linebacker position. The thing with Jonah that makes him so special is he can really run. You know, he's a legit 4'5" kid, all over the place. He's long, he's lengthy. You know, he's understanding what it means to play varsity football right now. We went down to the Hun this morning, and they got, you know, 6'8" across the board. He's roughing it up with those guys. But he's going to be be He'll be very, very good for us. Yeah.
Well, Darren, let's go.
All right, listen, my friend.
Yeah.
So I'm at NJIC Media Day, talking to St. Mary's of Rutherford, and I'm like, oh, you know, it's the 20th anniversary of your last state title. Who'd they beat 20-13 in 2006?
You would bring that up.
Anniversary.
That was
Who was the coach of that team?
I the only time I ever lost to St. Mary's, and the one thing in coach.
Was the weather bad? Was the weather bad?
No, the weather wasn't bad. Our team chemistry was not what we usually had.
Yeah.
We were super talented.
We were 9-0.
We were Algebra Lane, this guy going here, this guy going to Purdue, this guy going here. And we had the worst thing in Magic Relate. First time during my period of time at Patterson Catholic that I had parents ruin a program.
Really?
Who, like, articles, and it wasn't something I was used to because usually the kids were very appreciative at PC. Not a lot of arguing, not who cared. It was always kind of like check your ego out the door. I had one particular parent that just literally lit our locker room up. And it happened when we got there. But Damon Murkison, who went to Syracuse,
absolutely, yeah.
my field son, lit us up.
He could play.
Like he found the dude that I didn't want to be on the field.
Oh.
And they knew. So, and Sheridan knew that we were both old school run teams. And when they came out throwing the ball, I said, man, that's going to be tough. But Coach Sheridan's one of my favorite people, too. He's great.
I love what you said in its question. He spotted a weakness and he exploited. Isn't it? We make all this. I ask you all these questions about coaching.
I see that kid,
and it's
every time I
basically
see that kid, all I can see is Damon Murkison running over his head. Like, you know, I go, oh, God.
But sometimes it is that simple in high school. Like, hey, let's watch film.
It's not no brilliant.
We might be able to exploit that kid, right?
And they found him. We couldn't cover up. We could. The year before, or yeah, I
didn't
think
mean
it
to
was.
get him going,
Oh wait,
Jay.
the
I'm
year
sorry. I
before,
got-
and I'll say this: we beat them. They suspended our quarterback the day before the Catholic school stuff,
Yeah.
right? They suspended our quarterback, Ray Taylor, who was a stud, the day before the game. So I get a call. Ray's suspended. I'm going, we're playing the state championship, bro. I can't be suspended. Are you crazy? Oh no, you played that night. We played that Friday night at the field over here on Route 17. So I'm running to the school like, what do you mean he's suspended? Oh, he drank milk when he shouldn't drink milk. I don't know. Something. Ray, they could find a reason. And we had to put a kid in who was 5'8", 160. Rob Price. He's now a doctor, Rob Price. And Rob went 8-0 because Ray had a penchant of getting suspended. And we won the state championship without completing one pass.
That's hard to do.
No, but I had dudes. We didn't complete one.
That your
Literally,
plan this year?
it
That's
was
the
cold.
plan?
All I can say is, guys are like in the head say, "Oh, coach, the slant's open." I say, "Well, go tell them to go back to sleep. I'm not throwing a slant. You know, I got a 5'8" quarterback. It's not going to happen." But great. Tell me some surprise. I know you're in your top 20.
We are.
now.
Yes,
What's
we are.
happening?
We are. I think we're on team 5 today with Ramapo. Number 1 is Ultapan. Public Super 20 because now we're USA Today. Everything's branded now. Super. Wayne Hills is number 2. We were just talking about them a minute ago. They're one of the few teams I think that can match up with Ultapan. Northern Highlands is real good. They got some quarterback from St. Joe's.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think they're right up there. Justin put it.
Oh wait, timeout. So, Old Japan's 1.
Yeah.
Wayne Hills is 2.
Yeah. Highlands is 3.
Highland is 3.
Yeah. Passaic Tech is 4.
Okay, I was
All right,
gonna
I'm
say,
sorry.
okay.
Sorry. I was getting there.
Yeah, like, all right.
And I'll tell you what, boy, Group 5 ain't no picnic anymore.
No.
Especially now. Where'd he go? Where Washington Township? Where'd Jalen go? You know.
Yeah,
They
they're
just-
pretty Washington Township. That's crazy.
Our rankings are coming out in a day or so, and Washington Township is pretty high. And this kid transferred 3 times this offseason. So
And he still has to sit 60 days, right?
Yeah,
Or
he has
whatever
to.
it is.
He still has
30
to sit.
days, whatever.
He's a senior. He's
dynamic though.
He
He's a good player.
I went to that. You
He
were at Rutgers
has almost
that night,
every
right?
passing record in New Jersey, but I'm surprised that he transferred again because his dad's supposed to be the head coach at Gloucester Catholic. That's why he transferred from Camden. So I don't know what's going on over there.
But Group 5, Passaic Tech has run Group 5 up here.
Yeah.
Now Ramapo is sitting there too. Now Ramapo is with the competitive balance.
Ramapo's
So
up
now
at 5.
Ramapo's a 5, and you might have to turn around and
East
face
Orange
Washington.
is going to be a good program as well.
You're right. I think East Orange is going to be a little bit better. And who? West Orange.
West Orange.
And
West Orange,
Orange.
they're, Group 5 is going to be super competitive. I'm looking forward actually to Group 3, seeing Shabazz move up to play someone like an Old Japan. I just wish for the state of New Jersey's sake, I know I'm going to get a lot of scrutiny from South Jersey, but Glassboro, doesn't have a super strong schedule again.
Boy, are they good, though.
But
They
they have
are
a lot of
phenomenal.
talent. You got to see Charlie Falk in person last year versus St. Francis Academy throw 4 touchdowns. He's headed to Syracuse. He's there, right? And then they have the number 1 athlete. When you have the number 1 athlete in America that's heading to Oregon, so if Oregon comes here and they really want you, that should speak volumes. But they're not, no shade to like Immaculata, but that's like one of their independent games. Meanwhile, we have all these other teams going all over the country or have people come to them, but that's why Glassboro.
And then you look at the rank. I saw you did an article on Paramus Catholic playing the toughest schedule they ever had. And when I look at Augie's first 2 games, I go, hold on, that's a tough schedule. But going to Chicago and then having Creekside come in, that has to be one of the toughest schedules in America.
So yeah, we did a podcast yesterday, and we did our top 5, and we did have St. Joe's as they're the only team this year with 2 teams and multiple polls for top 25 in America. I believe Bosco was sitting in the 2 spot. They have two really good games as well for their independent. But like you said, Paramus Catholic schedule is a gauntlet every single week, especially when you go play a 5th-year school.
They're
school.
playing that, but they're also playing this team from Virginia that I got a bunch of calls.
They're playing.
Yeah.
They're playing St. James Academy, where
In St. James Academy, beware New Jersey. These guys are up here recruiting New Jersey.
They're playing a team with a lot of speed. You're talking about a team that had some athletes at Penn Relays this year run 39 in their 4x1 team, right? This is a 2nd-year program. They actually have 2 teams now for your school, but they're getting all the kids in that Richmond area. They got some of the best talent in that area to come up there because this school is well funded. The resources is there, right? And they also have a schedule that's there as well, where you're going to see them playing at IMG and a St. Francis Academy. So this was a good.
We'll be hearing about them, and I talked to obviously by.
They're coming here though, so the game is here.
The game is here.
The game is here
Okay,
at
good.
Paramus Catholic on Friday, September 4th. So that's a game to look out for. But they also play LaSalle from Philadelphia, who was a state champion. They had a big time recruit that went to Notre Dame. And then they have a big-time returning receiver that was on the preseason Max Pro Bowl American.
I think I was talking about how this guy knew they were going to be good. He knew he had the Gray brothers back, and so he could afford to schedule competition, good competition. Paramus Catholic didn't need to necessarily go outside of its comfort zone, which I think they really did. Which I think they really did with their schedule.
I commend them because
I do too. They're not taking. They didn't take a bye.
They switched their schedule when Winslow and Coach Belton went to St. Augustine.
Right.
They were supposed to play Winslow to open up at the Battle of the Beach, and then a bunch of kids transfer from Winslow, go to different schools, and they scheduled another opponent. And LaSalle is going to be a very, very tough game. Like Bergen Catholic opens up with two known programs, Central Catholic. Then you go to a known program like Good Counsel, St. Joe's. But they played them in the past as well. They were a little bit down last year, Good Counsel. But then we don't know what to really expect from St. Joe's Prep. But we do know St. Joe's Prep, and I know St. Joe's Regional is going to scrimmage them. They're going against probably one of the best high school receivers I've seen, and he's only going to be a junior.
Yeah.
And I got to see him score 4 touchdowns against probably one of the best defenses ever I've seen in high school football with St. Francis Academy last year. But our premier teams, like the teams that's going to be in everyone's top 5, all the schedules are
These are some of the toughest schedules I've seen across the board.
Yeah, and Bosco's going to play Roman Catholic.
Is it harder to get games when you're good? When you win a state championship, is it harder to get games, or is it easier to get games?
No, I think it's. I don't think it's harder. I think it's figuring out the right fit. There's so much information out there now. You know exactly who you're playing before it happens, but it's got to be. You don't like. We played St. Francis twice, right? Both times we had good teams. In 19, we had a really good team. They were loaded in 19. The entire defense went Big Ten, SEC, Pac-10. Like every one of those kids went somewhere. Blake Corum, it was like, you saw it. I
What's
think
the Pac-10 though? I never heard of that.
Or whatever, Pac-12, whatever. Well, yeah, right, whatever. For me, it's like, finding we got to put ourselves in a position where we want to play the best talent, but it's got to also make sense, right? You know what I mean? We had an opportunity to play St. Francis this year. I didn't think it made sense to play them a third time, So now you become more of a GM, trying to figure out, all right, how do we get maximum exposure? The ESPN thing was an easy solution for us. We were going to play whoever. We would play the Jets on ESPN if we needed to. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't have mattered. But then that Creekside game, that's going to be a tremendous test for us. And the way I look at it is, and I've always looked at it this way, we're going to play the top teams in the beginning of the year. It's only going to help us out in November. Yeah. We see that type of speed from Creekside early on. I mean, we have speed in New Jersey, but they don't have it like Creekside.
And that's Paramus Catholic's advantage this year. That things will slow down for them based off of their regular season schedule. Everyone's like, 6-5, whatever it was going into MetLife last year.
And they make it to MetLife.
The game is gonna slow down, no different than for St. Joe's after their first 2 games. So as far as the schedule is concerned,
it's a great scheduling year for North Jersey football. Now this is shift gears a little bit. The best players in North Jersey, like I say, you've had the best freshmen, the best sophomore, we know the Joe's guys. We know who's the guy that we're going to go that you've already said this guy's going to be phenomenal this year, or guys.
Holy smoke, put me on the spot. His kid's really good. I mean, I'm excited to see both Gray brothers. I think we give Chaz enough credit, honestly, sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough being the older brother when Taj is the younger brother, but Chaz, I'm telling you right now, and this is going to be, I'm going to put a bullseye on his back, but you're going to be hard-pressed to find a defensive lineman that's better than him this year, for sure.
You saw a real good quarterback today from the Hun.
Very good. That kid's special.
Of course.
And he's going to
Indiana.
Indiana. Are they any good?
Indiana or the
I think we all answered that after last year. Nobody's questioning him. What did the coach say? Google me. He said
That was a great line. Of course, a lot of talk about some of the talent they have at Paramus Catholic. Walker Schnee, of course. Lewis at the quarterback. Chu Odo, the running back they got, going to Penn State. I mean, that's all. He's a fantastic player.
Yeah.
Don Bosco has some quarterback. I don't know his name. What's his name? Is he any good?
Is he related to
he put it out there. He's right.
He looks. You know what though? To me, he looks physically bigger to me. And that if I had one thing I would have said to Carson at the end of last year was like, you gotta get in the weight room, man.
Yeah.
You know, like because you got grown men trying to tackle you.
Then you said it. He's learning because I read the article where he works out at 4:30 in the morning every day. So it's not bad to have a connection to the New York Giants, right?
No.
And Makai Allen, Patterson kid.
Oh, boy,
what do you think of Makai Allen as far as like dominant athletic players?
I think the target is on Makai's back. Like last year, and when you see the other, the Keep It a Buck podcast, it was very fitting that Nate Belly's story finished with a state champion. Everything, he had to sit out during the St. Peter's game with the injury, right? This kid is super dynamic. He makes everyone around him better, and he's a very unselfish kid. And Nate, it was fitting that, that it happened for him in his program, right? I feel like now that target's on Makai Allen. He's a 4-year varsity player, right? And not just Makai Allen. I think he's a little bit different from Nate. Don Bosco is very, very senior heavy. Right, this team, like Joe's. I feel like Joe's got guys freshmen, sophomore, juniors.
Notre Dame kid going to right. Makai going to Texas A&M. You got
Alvarez
Shane
going to
there. You got the kid going to West Point, the DB.
Yeah, Phillips.
Yep.
So like as far as from a team standpoint, they are very senior heavy.
Would you say, as a reporter, is Don Bosco the most talented group that they have? Like you said, senior heavy.
I think they're most experienced. They're senior heavy.
When we're making our judgments on like preseason rankings and stuff, the first thing you always look for, especially the games become so quarterback centric, who's got the guy at quarterback? It looks like we don't know who his guy yet. I'm sure his guy will be a guy and be the guy, but right now Bosco has the guy at quarterback. Bergen Catholic has a dude at quarterback. They have
who's a phenomenal athlete,
outstanding player.
The Bergen kid. Yeah. Is phenomenal.
He's going to. He was going to Notre Dame for about 3 days, and then he went to Oklahoma. He had a lot of reasons to make that switch.
But Bergen has also lost some guys. 3 guys go to Peters. The other guy goes to IMG.
Sure, but I've talked to this guy, and I've talked to Sabella, and I've talked to Coach Joe at St. Peter, and they both it's not like Bergen's going to have some guy from sophomore from PE class is suddenly going to play defensive back. It's not. They don't feel that bad.
You're not going to see Joey Donuts at D tackle.
They have plenty of talent.
They got plenty of talent.
Their wide receiver core is probably the best.
Their younger, everyone has a new lineman coming in, but they didn't lose anyone on the offense side, right? You have a receiver, Busso, that's going to USF. Then you have Brian Porter that's going to Georgia Tech. Yes, they're gonna have to put some new guys, in the backfield. But Trey last year, and I'm gonna give him praise because this is a quarterback that I think threw about 29 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. And I think as far as talent-wise, as far as top returning quarterback in North Jersey, Trey is the top based off the statistics and everything. He is for sure. Carson does have some experience as well, but this season, right? It's probably crazy to say, everyone always says for New Jersey football, the biggest game is Bosco Bergen. I don't think that's the biggest game this year. I think the biggest game is the revenge story, right? For someone, they went 1-1. It's almost feel like a Rocky. Bosco won the first one, and then Joe's won the state championship. Now the game is back at Bosco. Max Preps also made this as one of the top games in America overall this season in the nation. It wasn't Bosco Bergen. I think the storyline is there for the Bosco and Joe's game to be one of the biggest games, in New Jersey this year.
All right. Well, listen, we got to wrap up soon, so we got to have some picks.
I'm not starting this time. You hit me with the LeBron thing this time.
You're not going with the picks? Yes. All right, let's start off with, no offense to the 1s and the 2s like that. We're going to jump right into the 3s. Who do you like as the strongest teams in the 3s?
And
Group 3.
Group 3, Old Japan. I got to see them in summer, even though 7-on-7 is not everything. They got a swag to them, and they got one of the best overall players, in New Jersey that doesn't get a lot of credit. Zach Michelli, who does it on both sides. He's at quarterback. He's playing defensive back as well. So I think they're going to be a very strong team to beat, and they're going to have a little chip on their shoulder because they got blown out in that state championship game last year versus Cedar Creek. So I do like Old Japan this year.
How about Shabazz?
Shabazz, I think I like to see Shabazz versus Old Japan for.
And Shabazz not ducking smoke. They've taken some nice independent games.
Yeah, they have. Shabazz got a lot of talent there. They got a kid that's headed to Vanderbilt. They also have a kid in the 2028 class that's the number 2 corner in America. But one thing I did see about Old Japan is their kids are super disciplined. Everyone is where they need to be at all times. They know the system, right? Everyone buys in, and I think that takes you a long way for sure.
How about Group 4, and who we're looking for?
I like Ramapo. I like you got Ramapo. You got Highlands as well. That's going to be super talented. Highlands is going to have a chip on their shoulder because all they did was lose to the best of the best last season. So they're between Highlands and Ramapo.
All right, Group 5.
Group 5, I'm going to have to go with almost like how I'm saying like Makai's story this year. I think it's fitting for Ian McDuffie to, and on
Put
top
him on his back.
I think he has to put the team on his back. I know he's going to play a lot of receiver. I'm pretty sure they'll put him as some Wildcat as well. Hands down the best defensive player in for public school North Jersey for sure. And I got to see him at the Under Armour camp this all season. He put on like 20 pounds of muscle. He looks really good, and I think he was committed to Syracuse. I think it's he got a good deal to go to UCF.
Okay, all right. And Og, any closing comments as far as the predictions for the season? I don't like putting head coaches on the spot with predictions. I mean, I'm going to pick you, so you don't have to pick yourself. Go ahead.
Yeah, listen, I think the league, the parity in the league is as good as it's ever been. I agree that you said Don Bosco's got a ton of kids coming back. They're obviously a great team. Bergen's going to be just fine. St. Peter. I mean, it's a coin flip. I mean, you saw it last year. We happen to pull it together in the end and come out on top. But it's every week. I mean, if you have a
there's no weeks off at all.
There is no weeks off, and nobody cares that you're sick or you're hurt or this or whatever. Nate Bailey's not playing. Good for that. Good for you.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear that.
They don't care. So it'll be interesting to see. But it's a war of attrition. So we'll see. September is very different than November.
Yeah,
it's a lot of competition in September, and another game to look out for because of all the transfers. The Bergen St. Peter's game, and St. Peter's got the number 2 offensive lineman in the country.
Oh, the big
as well. And getting to see him over the last couple of years, he's very vocal now, right? He's finding himself as a leader.
I saw him at the 7-on-7.
He was on a 7-on-7, like trying to fire the guys up, and I probably only heard him speak probably 3 times in the last 2 years. But they're very, like, from a secondary standpoint, they have a lot of depth in the secondary, but
a lot of speed.
But I think the games at the end of the day are going to be one with the big guys up front. So if they can answer that question in the box, it's going to be a very long season. As far as good competition, so week to week it can be any given Friday.
Darren, come on, give me my public schools real quick. I'm getting there.
Passaic Tech is fantastic. I think Wayne Hills has got a quarterback. They got 2 good wide receivers, and Wayne's a real good coach. They know how to win up at Wayne Hills. I think they got their butt kicked by Old Japan twice last year. I think they're got that chip on their shoulder. I want to see Passaic Tech. Passaic Tech ran into Washington Township in the final, and I was like, there was part of me that was like, get mad. Tech, get mad. Come on. Y'all are good enough to hang with those teams and beat them athletically. I know they're real loaded on the offensive line. McDuffie is a tremendous athlete. I mean, just try to give him the ball in some space and let him make some plays. As far as the Big Six, as of this day, it is so hard, and I like what Augie said, how August is different than September, which is different than October, which is different than November, because we could have sat here in mid-October and thought you weren't winning, and we wouldn't have. You might have thought that too in mid-October, and then they found that resolve and they put it together. Going into the season on paper, Bosco is a little bit ahead of these guys just because of the experience at quarterback. Defensively, you would give them the edge on Bosco, but You're not. He's sitting right here, so you're not like this much better than them on defense. You know, you're better than them on
When
defense.
is me sitting here ever stopping?
I was thinking the same thing. They never got sort of an opinion. So
I think Peters is a sneaky dark horse. I really do. I think Peters is a sneaky dark horse. They have a running back because the kid Olu we were just talking to, it's going to be 3rd and 2. As good as some of your guys on defense are, he's probably going to push him out of the way. They're going to get a first down. All right, they get another 3 minutes. They get to run the ball a little bit more. So that's a great advantage to have an amazing offensive lineman in their
New
camp.
quarterback for them though too.
New quarterback. That's right. That's why I wouldn't rank him 1 or 2.
Healthy. When I saw
Yeah,
him,
but he still doesn't have really a lot of. He doesn't have a lot of games on his belt. But I will say he was poised. He actually jumped in for a play last year in the semifinals.
Yeah, he made a throw that almost
threw the ball. Yeah.
Hunter's my guy, but he should have caught a pass. I think it was a fade. I think they scored the next play, but he got in. He put it right there. It should have been caught, but yeah.
Real quick, and I know we got to wrap up. We didn't talk about DePaul, my guy, Tyrone DeBose. Is he? He's not even in his top players.
He's a good player.
He's a very good player. He should have been in your top players.
I'm excited to see what Moreno.
And I'm a Kyron guy, so that's
DePaul,
it. Yeah.
But I don't think their talent level is quite as good as it's been the last couple of years. They're a
on
little bit of a work in
paper,
progress.
PC looks a little bit better on paper right now.
We'll have to get revenge and the schedule because I don't know if DePaul's playing his toughest schedule.
See, that's the one thing about, and I think it may be his fear too. You play a team in Chicago that's real good. You play at Creekside. The fear I would have about Paramus Catholic is you get guys hurt. You know, like you face these really good guys and you don't mean it, but boom, somebody pops somebody and you lose a kid you can't afford to lose. That's what worries me a little bit about PC. But they are the non-public B favorite.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna go with them. I'm not gonna go through each group. I like what Nas is doing at Shabazz.
Absolutely.
Coach Dunn is a Hall of Famer. I hope we get to the point to see them play with each other. Like that's one of the games I know I will go to. I'll be like, Aaron, I'm over here.
I would go to that one
I would
too.
go see that game. I think with the big six, it's going to be a war of attrition, like he said. But I just think Joe's defense is different. Don Bosco and Joe's again at MetLife is probably a reality. But like you said, you got dark horses like St. Peter's Prep, and Trey is the real deal. Like a quarterback could win you a high school championship. The kid at Bergen Catholic. So, I mean, this is going to be an amazing season. And not in public. And, my Eastside Ghosts are going to get back to the playoffs with that big line. And I know you got a running back from somewhere we're going to find. I think they'll be very much improved, Eastside. Mark my words. Eastside's going to be very much improved. And I got a chance to peek in and see what they're doing. They're going to be really good. PCTI is due. I've been talking about Ian McDuffie since he was a freshman.
Yes.
And I've said this, like, at this level, a guy like Ian could put you on his back. The Watkins kid at receiver made play after play.
They had a D tackle as well whose stock is raising.
Yeah, he already.
They got a
Boston College, right?
I think
Boston College.
I think so. I know it was like.
And they got 90 kids. They have 90 kids. Like so, they have to get over the hump. Be it Washington Township or West Orange or East Orange is gonna be pretty good. But just something. Can't wait to get started. Next Thursday is the start of high school football. We'll be watching it on ESPN. We'll be over here watching it. We'll be talking about it every chance we get when we get on here. But I want to thank, Darren Cooper for coming out. Appreciate him. And he also gave me, some great recommendations for food down in Louisiana. J4, JJ is headed to, he's there. He's at LSU. Sports management major, 99 degrees today. He said it was brutal, but appreciate your support and the recommendations. You're my guy. You know that. I'm gonna ride or die. This guy is St. Joe's. I say gonna be right there. And more importantly, when I was at Hackensack, and I think I reminded him one time, my other son Jordan was getting recruited, and the Naval Academy calls me like, "Can you have Jordan and meet me at 7 o'clock in the morning?" And one of your kids recommended my son. And that's the type of coach he is. And I remember we did all the visits and Jordan's like, I just can't do 10 years. I get it. But that's the type of men he raises. And Nate Bailey and so on and so on and so on. Great family. But that's going to be super competitive. There's not going to be a week off in football. We're looking forward to, I'll be working for you next weekend. I'm headed down to Florida with Zone 6. Looking forward to being in Fort Lauderdale. I may disappear for a little while on Thursday and Friday, but I'll be there. We'll get the game Friday.
Friday, I'm watching his game. I'll be in a hotel.
Okay, all right, yeah,
watching.
so-
Down to Las Olas.
I'm going to get a little free time on this break.
I'm gonna go watch Chaminade though on Thursday night. I'm gonna go see Chaminade.
I'm not going to see Chaminade. I'm going to enjoy my time off. But listen, this is episode 36. We'll be back with more football, more politics. A lot of people have reached out to me about Paterson politics, Kay. Like, when are you going to get these council people and stuff back on? Listen, there's never a dull moment in the city of Paterson politics. That episode last week could have been an episode by itself between, Jackson and Davila. What's going on here in the city with the floods, many complaints about the development that's going on in the city, and people want to talk up and talk out. So, Kay, you'll be back on board next week. We're going to have a back-to-back, and we really do that. So next Monday, we're back on Barbershop Talk with a little more local politics that's going on here, and some more football with some of our local guys and kids probably coming out. But also want to give a big shout-out to McDonald's. Zone 6 had a great day today at McDonald's. The Harrison family has been supporting Paterson athletics for almost 40 years. And how small the world is. Yes, he used to feed every team every Saturday, Mr. Henderson. Eastside, Kennedy, and Paterson Catholic, we come eat for free, come here. And how small the world is, his son and I lived next to each other in college. We were like dorm mates or whatever. And Alicia and the family are just amazing, and they're still doing that, so support McDonald's. Also want to give a big shout out to my VSU family. Had a great event this past weekend, had an incident, unfortunately, with school starting, and you talk about gun violence and sending your kids to school. It's not a Virginia thing, it's not a New Jersey thing, it's not a Chicago thing. Gun violence is out of hand. And I'm not talking about people who legally own guns and who are responsible gun owners. I'm talking about illegal guns and people who are not responsible to have a gun. So be smart out here as you start the school year, be it college or high school, whatever it may be. A gun is not the solution. It is not the solution. Back in the day, you may get knuckled up a little bit in the playground or somewhere else, but pulling out a gun to solve a solution. And a young man in Virginia pulled out a gun, hit 5 people. Thank God nobody was killed, and only 1 student. Unfortunately, even when I was in school, the local element is always any major city. You're going to have local element. I saw parts of Baton Rouge. So I said, Jaden, don't go near that part of Baton Rouge. So, but listen, I'm Benjie Wimberly. This is episode 36 of Barbershop Talk. We'll be back with a show next Monday, August 24th. In Paterson, we're going to talk a lot about what's going on here and the city of Paterson. So God bless you. And as always, I close out with hope is here.